In 1948, the Missouri Association of Secondary School Principals established MASC, the Missouri Association of Student Councils. Since its inception, MASC has had 6 executive directors tasked with leading the organization at all levels. In 1949, Nona Hyde became the first executive director for MASC. In 1960, Lenora Younger became the second executive director. In 1974, Martha Hicks took over as the third executive director. In 1984, Dennis Locke became the fourth executive director. In 2000, Terry Johnson was elected as the fifth executive director. And in 2022, Chad Reisner was elected to serve as our next executive director, following Terry's retirement. In 1949, the first state convention was held at Trenton High School, with 22 schools present. In 1950, an advisors board was established, and the first sponsors and executive meetings were held. The decade of the 50s saw a steady growth as membership reached nearly 200 schools by 1960. In the 60s and 70s, students were keenly aware of issues and happenings of their times. This is reflected in the conference themes and discussion questions that they faced at conferences, such as, the sky was the limit, what to do about cliques, the popularity plague, happy are those who serve, and one man can make a difference. MASC is always composed of Missouri's finest leaders. These discussion topics and themes reflect the current issues and moral dilemmas that were faced by those same students. During the 80s and 90s, it was a time of big hair, music, fun, and even bigger dreams of equality for our student leaders. By the end of the 90s, MASC had 350 member schools from across the state. Throughout the 2000s, membership grew and new schools from across the state joined MASC to offer leadership programs. In this time, MASC began utilizing technology and social media to reach out to students and teachers throughout the school year, spreading their message of leadership to as many schools and communities as possible. Throughout the rich history of the Missouri Association of Student Councils, the conferences, themes, and discussion groups have always mirrored the current events of the day. In any given year, MASC reaches thousands of students in hundreds of schools across the state, in rural, suburban, and urban communities, public and private schools, and small and large schools. District meetings held every fall in each of the 7 districts around the state see hundreds of students and advisors in attendance at each meeting. State conventions like this one have had attendance as high as 1,000 students and 300 advisors. The summer leadership workshops have had over 600 delegates, 52 junior counselors, and 50 adult staff in attendance. The reach and impact of MASC over its 75 years of programs has created our legacy, a legacy of leadership. And our legacy continues with you.